this. Put it all out there, or as much of it as I can manage. This is a one-off. I haven't spoken to anyone about it. But if you don't mention, people start to move away from you, making excuses about having something in the oven. I suppose some of you can smell burning by now. We're all the same. Nobody wants to listen. I'm not sure. I'll give it a try. Well, it was a Tuesday, and sure you know what Tuesdays are. If weeks came in graphs, Tuesdays would just be creeping up, like temperature rising. I got my husband up first. George, it really wasn't difficult. He was glad to have a job to go to. It was only to be a couple of weeks though. I roused the rest in the usual manner. You know the sort of thing I mean. It's 1:45 when it's only 1:15. It's 1:15 when it's only 1:45. You see this stick? Well, it's not for stirring porridge with. That's the one that gets the best results. I make quite a bit of porridge. Anyway, a few stray hugs, a quick, a sort of rugby huddle in the middle of the hall to the tune of, "Oh, Angel of God, my guardian dear." Sean was moving about upstairs. "Will these cords be all right, ma? Grandson?" I called back. The way you do, without looking. The way your husband does when you ask him if your hair's all right. I trusted him though, Sean. He has good taste. Not like me. It's all the same what you say to them anyway. They were what they want in the end. When he was ready for the off, he told me, "I'm going to be a bit late at home. A wee project we're working on, a bit of overtime." Right then, I'll hold your dinner till I see the whites of your eyes. God, the things you say. He blessed himself. They all do it, even when they don't. I sometimes sprinkle a drop of holy water down the path after them. One of those wee habits you can't break. But whether he said a prayer or not is another matter. He was past the angel of God stage, and his morning prayers were his own business. So I stood at the door, watched him till the end of the street. At the corner he turned and gave me a wave. I felt nothing. So all I did then was decide not to risk any washing out. On Agnes's window, mouthed, "Come round when you're ready." Went into the house to make a cup of tea. I suppose it's the laughter, more than anything, which stands out most in my memory of that last morning of my other life. The one where I must have been completely happy. I didn't know it at the time. Now, I can't remember what it's like to wake up without this. They say it'll pass, but I can't help doubting this. Agnes was in great form that morning. She'd been to a bomb damage sale and bought lots of stuff dead cheap. Ooh! Agnes, you're terrible! The guilt I have felt since. But what happened for all that wasn't my fault. After the children's lunch break, it brightened up, and I was able to put the washing up after all. I chatted with Angela next door, the other side of me. She was telling me how her son was getting on in England. Great. The mummy's good. He is staying with my sister. I pitied her for having a child so far away from home. I went to make dinner for my mother and father. It was my turn to do that. We take it in turns, my sisters and me, to do that. They were grand, really. She had father keeping an eye on the cooking. We had a cosy chat. She was knitting a jumper. Oh, it was for my birthday the next week. What's my dad scowling about? Don't talk to me. Hasn't he been banned from the club? Him and our Mickey had another Barney last night, and now he doesn't know what to be doing with himself. And our maid didn't help matters by saying he could start an argument in an empty house. This next bit. That's the test now, isn't it? If I can get through these few minutes, I'll be grand. If I can face up to what happened during the day, it could be the beginning of the end of the nightmares. I'll just... Let's see how far I can get. My parents were settled at their meal. I had to adjust the kitchen clock. It was 5:30 exactly, but the clock had to be 10 minutes fast. 10 minutes fast. My mother insisted on that always. Just as we all next thing, me. My mother. And then I passed out. The whole street was out crying. The journey home was a procession in itself. There was a priest and George holding me up, and behind my father with a man who had come with the priest. It turns out it was Sean's boss. Sean's boss? He had let Sean out a few minutes early to collect my birthday present from the jeweller's, where he was having it engraved. Passing the car on the way back, he was blowing right through the bank window. was a closed coffin. They say he didn't feel a thing. Isn't God good all the same? I trust there was a funeral, for I slept through it, and my mother's a week later. I remember, and white walls, seeing the crying, the anger, the bitterness. Back to normal again. I keep myself occupied. George has a steady job at last. And I keep the locket about me all the time. There wasn't a scratch on it. Has Love Sean on the back, and I put a picture of him inside. Although I know he meant it to be of his father and me.